If you're like me and have been interested in building a custom keyboard but have been holding out for a full-size unit that includes a numpad, the wait might be over. This is the Phrygian Design PH100, a full-size, hot swap, all aluminum custom keyboard kit that's available for purchase right now. Need a Windows or Office key but looking for a way to score a discount? Look no further than ICMMO.com. Whether you're looking for Windows, Office, or other software or games, ICMMO has them all in stock at significant discounts. And if you use code BPS35 at checkout, you'll save an additional 35%, making Windows 10 Pro less than $10. Grabbing your code is easy as the site automatically redirects you after purchase, and hitting the extract your key button completes the process. There's also a bundle deal on Windows 10 Pro and Office 2019 available now for under $50 when you use my code. Head over to the link in the description to find out more. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the BPS Customs YouTube channel. Now, the customs in BPS Customs generally refers to custom PC builds, of which we do plenty here on the channel, but there's nothing to say that it can't also apply to custom keyboards. If you want to see more of this type of content, make sure to leave a comment down below and also consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. It really does help the channel out a ton. I've been interested in the custom keyboard scene for quite a while now. Channels like Teha Types, Squashy Boy, and Bad Seed Tech have been slowly but surely carving out a space in my brain, and the itch to build something unique has been percolating for some time. My biggest issue is that while I do some gaming, the majority of the use for my main systems is productivity, and I have a definite need for separate arrow keys as well as a full numpad. I even do enjoy some separate media controls from time to time. Custom keyboards most frequently skew smaller, and the trend right now is towards 60% boards that take up less desk space. I could maybe get away with a TKL layout and a separate numpad. However, I'd like to do what I can to keep my desk without multiple cables running across it if possible. Full-size customs are basically unicorns, with one or two coming out every few years and in very limited quantities. So when I discovered the PH100, a board that was available to ship right when I ordered it, I was very excited to give it a try. Phrygian Design is an Australian company, and I'm definitely mispronouncing their name. The PH100 is their first product launch. They're a very small operation with basically a non-existent social media presence, and the production run of these boards, while in stock and ready to ship, was limited to 100 units. I made my purchase about a month ago and received unit number 10, which they designate by an individually numbered plaque at the back of each board. They also send you a letter congratulating you on the purchase of your specific number. Shipping was relatively quick and inexpensive for a trans-Pacific journey, and I received my unit in about 2 weeks. I will say, though, that the price does reflect the limited nature of the product as well as the small size of the company, as the PH100 is $429. Now, for custom keyboard enthusiasts, this probably doesn't induce crazy sticker shock, as other custom kits can easily hit this price, and the fact that it's a full-size product certainly drives up the cost. The entire case is made of anodized aluminum with a smooth finish and chamfered edges. It's a premium looking and feeling keyboard, but the cost of the kit itself means that you're probably going to be into this build for $600 plus by the time you're done with it. And that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. So let's see exactly what you get for that money. As mentioned earlier, the entire case is anodized aluminum in what I can most easily describe as a space gray kind of color. Sorry, Apple. The finish is excellent, with no blemishes or machine marks, and it also rejects fingerprints quite excellently. The edges are clean, and the case is very simple looking and elegant. There's a stylized angular accent on the top right that serves no actual function but serves to make the look more unique. Right below the accent, you'll find the only two LEDs on the entire keyboard, indicators for caps lock and number lock. That's right, the PCB has no LEDs on it at all. So suck it, RGB fans. The PCB is matte black and uses Kale hot swap sockets, and I had no issues with fit or functionality of anything on the PCB. The layout of the board uses 100 keys in total, so maybe not quite 108 keys like you'd find on most full-size boards, but close enough. The omitted keys are things like scroll lock and print screen, which I'm willing to live without. The arrow keys are slightly shifted to the left to accommodate a condensed layout without venturing into 1800 layout territory. And the typing experience reflects a full-size board much more than anything smaller. Phrygian design includes 2 sets of feet that screw into the bottom of the case. The first set is 5 degrees and this is the 10 degree set. They are also made of the same aluminum and are very secure once attached. The bottom of the case is affixed with screws at the 4 corners and is extremely easy to disassemble. There is also a large company logo across the bottom and 4 additional rubber feet if you want to raw dog the typing experience at 0 degrees. Packaging is minimal. You get a cardboard box with the keyboard bubble wrapped inside. The only accessory you get in the box is a single black keycap with the PH logo and a tilde on it, which I chose not to use for this build. But if you're paying attention, this means that you don't even get a cable in the box, and you will have to supply your own. I would imagine that this is a conscious cost-cutting decision, and most keyboard enthusiasts are probably going to be using their own coiled cable anyway, but still, The connector is USB-C and is slightly recessed, and I had no trouble using aftermarket cables of multiple types. The first thing that I did after unpacking everything was ditch the stock stabilizers for Duroc V2 screw-ins. The stock stabs are frankly pretty bad, and they come bone dry. The Durocs I swapped in, I lubed with 205G0 and had way more confidence in. I would say that if you're going to be building with this board, be prepared to spend some time tuning the stabs or else go with aftermarket units. I then wanted to add some foam to the back of the case. I did this because the construction is relatively shallow and I was afraid I was going to pick up on a lot of case ping. However, I encountered a problem. Using fairly standard thin packaging foam, I cut 2 pieces to size and placed them against the back of the PCB. However, because the back of the case is so tight to the PCB when everything is closed, the 4 screws at the back couldn't keep the case properly fitted, and it bulged at the middle. I considered using just a layer or 2 of masking or painter's tape, but I decided to give something else a try first. I swapped out the packaging foam for 3M microfoam tape, which I found in my wife's medical supply chest and you could probably pick up at CVS. I applied a layer of it to the back of the PCB, and this allowed me to put the back of the case on without any issues or interference. I'd like to see future iterations of this case implement slightly more room inside or maybe more screws on the rear housing to properly compress the foam and allow the back to close. Then it was my time to choose switches, and I went with Gateron Black Ink V2s. These have been lubed and filmed and are maybe the best feeling linears I've ever used, although admittedly my experience is pretty limited. The keycaps I chose were a set of GMK Laser with Japanese sub-legends, and as a PBT veteran, I was curious to see how ABS both felt and sounded while typing. However, I was drawn in by the GMK lore and the promise that I could probably sell these for like 5x what I paid for them in a few years, so it all balances out. Putting everything together went, honestly, really easily and seamlessly. I encountered no fitment or function issues, everything fired up as it should, and the build in total only took me probably a couple of hours, if you include lubing time for the stabs. Here's a sound test of the final build. The sound seems to actually be changing a bit over time, and I'm not sure if that's just me getting used to it, or maybe something is breaking in, the stabs or the switches. I think the shallowness of the case itself is what hurts the board's potential the most. The material of the case is excellent. The PCB is great, hot swap is always a plus, and the switches and keycaps are awesome. However, I'm not quite getting the sound that I want. I prefer maybe a little bit of a deeper tone, and although I think the sound is actually quite pleasing, for my next project I'll probably make sure that the case is just a little bit deeper no matter what it is. I also think the case could maybe use a weight at the back, as although it is quite large, it weighs significantly less than my GMK Pro, a TKL board. It's not like the PH100 shifted around on my desk or was bad to type on, it was the opposite. But a weight might help to change the sound a little bit. All in all though, I think the typing experience is really good. I've been using the board for about a week now, and compared to my previous full-size THOCC 1.2, it's completely night and day. The switches are buttery smooth and satisfying to type on, the stabilizers feel much more stable, and the keycaps are extremely premium. This is without a doubt the best feeling and sounding full-size keyboard that I have ever used, and although I'm sure that a more experienced keyboard builder might do something different here, I'll be happy to leave this on my desk for the foreseeable future. I've linked the keyboard down below, and although I'm not entirely sure how many of the original run of 100 they have left, the fact that I have number 10 bodes pretty well for availability, at least for now. So what do you guys think of the Phrygian Design PH100? Is this the full-size custom keyboard that you've been waiting for? Sound off down below. I'll leave links to the switches and caps down there too in case you guys are curious and want to check them out. And as always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.